You're flying with Squadron podcast. I'm already channeling Andy. All wings report in. This is Andy Poddrop standing by. Tracy Pod Tracer standing by. Dayla.
What's up? This is Pod Piper Dayla standing by, standing by, standing by.
This is Jason, children of a lesser pod, back in the fray.
Get it. I was deferring.
As you can see, Jason's here. We're so excited.
Hi, everybody. You missed this ugly mug. He's here in all his zoomy glory.
All ships to attack formation, mission objectives to talk about Star Wars and movies, streaming, animation, books, themed experiences, and your art and inspiration from the galaxy far, far away. Tonight's flight plan includes Ashoka Episode 8, the loss of a beloved Star Wars costume designer, and Star Wars Minecraft, apparently. So for all of you out there, all comm channels open. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Find us on YouTube, like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you know when we have new content. But first, I'll be your squad leader today. I'm Andy Lowe, the Chinese pirate. Just kidding. I'm Tracy. Andy's off tonight doing Tech Week. I am apparently a writer, blogger, occasional cosplay artist, and the one and only hot nerd girl. And on my other wing is Jason.
Hey, it's me, if you remember. This guy. I'm a film guy, a nerd guy, a collector guy. Sorry, I've been out of the galaxy for a little bit. Too much blue milk, and but I have returned, and it is great to see you all, and thanks for having me back. Beyond Forever Studios. Okay, sorry.
That's what it says here.
I know, right? Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, and just say that now. Yeah, okay.
And guest hosting with us again is Allison De La Cruz.
Woohoo! What's up, everybody? I'm a creator, producer, and a bicelestial because I love the Star Wars and the Star Trek.
Nice.
And so happy to be here. And then, of course, Tracy. I mean, so glad. Because there are lots of us who are bicelestial. So
that's right.
Yes.
We can all get along.
We can. And then we can explore the science behind the getting along. So
That's right. I like that.
yeah.
So we are just one squad in the fleet. We're part of the Geekish Network. That's youtube.com/the Geekish Network. S foils to attack position. We are going in. All right, guys. We've got some news. Shauna, and I know I'm going to butcher her last name. Shauna Tripsick, I think is what it
that's
was.
how we think it's announced. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the Emmy-nominated costume designer who worked on the Star Wars series The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and of course Ahsoka. And she passed away this past Wednesday, and she was only 56. She died suddenly of an unknown cause in the Palm Desert on Wednesday, as reported by her daughter to The Hollywood Reporter. Shauna was one of Hollywood's preeminent science fiction costume designers, a creative force, a trusted collaborator, and all-around delightful person for her friends and colleagues, is what her rep Tim Cressman, an agent at Gersh, said. She was a beloved member of the Star Wars Lucasfilm family, as well as the community of costume designers and the Costumers Designer Guild. She began regular work on Lucasfilm Productions in 2019, beginning with season 2 of The Mandalorian, and of course worked on Boba Fett and most recently Ahsoka. So, you guys have anything you want to say about Shauna?
I just heard this when we came on, so yeah, so I had no idea. But yeah, well, you pretty much said it all. She will be missed, and obviously a huge creative part of the show we're going to be talking about and the shows we have talked about. So yeah, it sucks, the good die too young. I mean, 56 is not, it's nothing. So I mean, but thoughts and prayers with the family, but her art will live on. So
Yeah, ditto. And just, just sit for a second and think about her work on Mandalorian. And sit and think about her work on Boba Fett, and then just again on Ahsoka, and just how her work has built the foundation of this new world inhabited by all these beings, and just what they wear and what their day-to-day looks like. So just yeah.
It's been a rough year for Ahsoka with Ray Stevenson and now Shauna passing away.
Yeah.
Well, Dayla, if you're looking at the agenda, do you want to talk about Star Wars Minecraft?
I do. I am. All right. So hey, it's time to explore the Blocktastic Galaxy. Woohoo! They announced it today that Minecraft Live, Minecraft will have Minecraft Star Wars Path of the Jedi DLC. Does that stand for De La Cruz? Maybe not. All right. Featuring a new story.
If it doesn't, it should.
I mean, that's what I gotta ask. Featuring a story-based adventure. It will arrive on November 7th. Also, birthdays to Rose Portillo. Woohoo! And in the Path of the Jedi, you'll play as a Padawan, customize your own droid, build a lightsaber, and then you go on various adventures and missions throughout the galaxy. And you'll encounter the legends like Yoda, Mace Windu, and you rise in your rank of Jedi Knight. So lots of cool stuff. Favorite, places, Coruscant, Camino, all the Star Warsy things. So yeah. Oh, and it looks like fan favorite characters. You can play Ahsoka, Tano, General Grievous, or Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, hello there. There you go.
Do either of you play Minecraft?
No, my daughter still does on occasion. Do you still play Minecraft?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes. So
awesome. Could she test it? And
there's gonna be Star Wars downloadable content in November. So yes, okay, you'll have to let me know. But yes.
Maybe she can guest star on the show and
there you go. You want to guest star and talk some Star Wars Minecraft? We got a maybe. That's all but a guaranteed yes
really
from
good.
6-year-old. So yes, I'm gonna yeah, no, but I've watched her play it, and I think I know more of just the Minecraft music than anything else between all the memes and whatnot, because it's like behind every damn TikTok short video you could ever that very calm just interlude music that they play behind everything. But I mean, no, I'll give it a look when she plays it. I mean, hey, it's Star Wars, so I'm down. So
this might be my path to Minecraft. Sorry.
There it is.
At one point, I would sit and watch my brother play, and he would have these huge worlds, and he'd be explaining to me about all of his pigs and cows and things, and I'm just watching this going, this looks like a lot of time and effort.
Yeah. I think when I first got
Wow.
my Xbox, the new one, it came with it, and I went on it for a while, and I built like a hill and in a little mine cart, and I was like, wow, that took me 4.5 hours. I'm like, I don't got the time for this. So that was kind of the end of my Minecraft career. But I mean, no, that's probably going to be huge for a lot of people, big and small. So yeah.
For sure.
I'm kind of interested to see how they create those characters in the 8-bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
once it emerges, I'm sure we'll start to see it everywhere.
Yoda will just be like a creeper with ears.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
but
sure.
yeah, we'll see.
For
So
sure.
they'll make it work, and then they'll make toys and
Apparently.
movies and more money. So
Oh, Comic-Con will be rife with
all Minecraft cosplay, Star Wars
toys.
cosplay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There it is.
The whole bit. Mystery
Yep.
boxes, all
Yep.
of it. Yeah.
Funko Pops, yes.
For sure.
So.
Apparently, some of the biggest YouTubers are Minecraft players. Is that like the people who you just watch them play games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. My daughter does that, and I'm fascinated by the fact of just the people that soak that stuff in. I mean, like hours upon hours of content of just watching these people play this thing and scream at it. And I'm like, I picked the wrong thing to make videos about. So but
Oh, there's that one guy who like shrieks really shrilly.
Mhm.
I don't know his name, but my nephew used to watch him all the time, and I'd be like, "Huh!" Like, what's going on? Who's screaming? And it was like this YouTuber guy, and I'm like, why don't you play the game yourself? And he's just like, no, I like watching him play. I'm like, okay.
No, and he makes $8 million a second. So
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
No
Wow.
kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Well,
Alright
we
then.
are mostly here for a very important reason, and that is the
leak out the two of
Ashoka
the-
episode 8 season finale. Would
Mhm.
either of you like to volunteer to give a rundown of the episode in your own words?
Oh God. I haven't
Mm.
watched it. I haven't watched it since it came out. So
Challenge accepted.
yeah.
I will take it. I will take
Okay.
it.
You'll
if that's-
take it?
I will.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna admit that I have some notes here. Yeah, episode 8, the finale. The witch, the Jedi, and the warlord is what it's called. Totally like trying to practice all the memory. Okay, so it opens in the fortress of the Night Mothers, and they are talking with Thrawn, and he's saying thanks so much, partnership's cool. So they do a ceremony, and Morgan Elsbeth gets to become a Night Mother or a Night Sister, right? And one of the Great Mothers comes and lays hands on her and changes her eyes and gives her the touch. And after she takes an oath, she has to swear that she's okay, and that she's gonna give over willingly, and that she will serve them with her life. And so spoiler alert, she does. So we go through the ceremony, and then after the ceremony, it's clear that there are some night troopers on standby, and they figure out that where the Jedis might be. Meanwhile, Ezra is kind of rudely in Hu Yang's cabinet and building his own lightsaber and insisting he doesn't need any help, and then only to discover that Hu Yang knew his master, taught his master how to build the lightsaber, and he just happens to have one last hilt exactly like your master had. So big shout out when Sabine walks in and names Kanan Jarrus. I think later we get another kind of Easter egg nod to him at the end. But so Ezra and Hu Yang also have a conversation where we understand Sabine's lost her family in the Night of 1,000 Tears, right? That's what it's called. On Mandalore, and just filling in the gaps in terms of what was going on, and then also why Ahsoka was like, well, I'm concerned to train her while she has all these feelings going on and could be dangerous and unable to control. So now we know what was up.
Anakin.
Yeah, for sure. And she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready to deal with Anakin, right? Because up until the beginning of this season, undealt with stuff, and her adultness. So Sabine kind of witnesses the Ezra and Hu Yang conversation, And then she kind of leaves, and that's when Huying and Ezra have their moment. So we get an awesome shot of Sabine up on the wing, and then Ahsoka's sitting on the roof, and she slides down, and they have this really intimate moment on the wing where we get to see the change in their relationship. And you know, Ahsoka's like, you know, your risk paid off, your gamble paid off, and Sabine's trying to apologize without apologizing. And so they have this whole moment where we get to see a change in their relationship, and Ahsoka saying to her, the only person who used to stand by me was my master, and that's why I have to be to you. And this is me. I'm going to show up for you now. So it's so that's all deep, and they're having a moment, and the next thing you know, the TIE fighters come. Oh my gosh, where's Ezra with the new lightsaber? Here we go. So once the ship is they have to help keep the ship up. We see some Jedi, you know, force push up and keep the ship going. And then we have to go and find a way to, okay, so then what happens? I'm like, yeah, they attack, and then after so they attack and do the comeback thing, and they're able to destroy the TIE fighters, and the ship is damaged. So now we have to figure out a way to go to prep to go to the Night Sister Castle so that we can confront Thrawn and try to get on the ship before it leaves. Because meanwhile, you know, the Chimera is preparing to jump to hyper light speed, or whatever it's called, in their Purgle speed, maybe. With their ring with the ISI on. So the internal clock of this episode is like they have to get to the ship before it takes off. They get to the castle, and there's night troopers there waiting for them, and we discover very quickly with this large set of night troopers that they are zombie troopers, because after they do the first round of killing them, they magically reanimate and come up and even make the noises, and you got the glowy eyes. So the Jedi 3 run up the stairs and try to get to the top of the platform, where there waiting for them is Morgan Elsbeth, who's already had a moment with Thrawn, and he's like, you got to stay here for the Empire. And as he leaves, she's like, nah, for Dathomir. She's like, that's up for me. So then there's a whole moment of battle. Ezra and Sabine peel off and go try to get onto the Chimera. There's some force jump and push. Then there's no clarity on whether or not Sabine gets pulled up. And at the end of the fight, when Elsbeth has gotten Ahsoka down to one blade, Sabine shows that she has stayed, and they are together, as Huying has told them, but also because their relationship changed, right? And they're able to defeat Morgan. Well, Ahsoka defeats her. Ugh, R.I.P. Morgan, dude. Ugh. And then then what? Oh, and then Sabine and Ahsoka are there. All the rest of the night troopers are defended. Ezra's on the Chimera. And then we kind of see the final act of the episode, where we see what happens after the Great Travel, you know. And Ezra pops up, does a very Rebels thing, and pops up into a starbase, coming off of a gangway of a ship, and pulls his helmet off, and it's just like, hi, Hera. And so I think that's the other Kanan Jarrus moment, where it could have been Kanan too, depending on the body and all that. So it just felt like a callback to me. Anyways, and then meanwhile, Thrawn's like, the Night Sisters on Dathomir, that's going to happen. We find out that Balin is standing on the arm of the Mortis god, the Father, next to a statue of the Sun, next to a carving in a mountain, not just like a statue, like a carving in a mountain, a la Lord of the Rings, right? A little bit of Princess Bride, right? A little bit of Princess Bride, maybe. Oh no, sorry, a Never Ending is what I was thinking about. With the big giant.
It
yes,
reminds me of Lord of the Rings.
Judy Laser Eyes, yes.
For sure, laser eyes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we just see there that there's some distant mountain, maybe with a shining light on it, calling to Balin, and the head of the sister is gone. So all of the Mortis gods are there, but the sister is defaced or decapitated. So and then Ahsoka and Sabine go back and post up and hang out with the Noti. And and then Sabine feels something, doesn't trust in it. Ahsoka looks off into the sky, and as she leaves, Anakin appears. Force Ghosty. That's my question, right? So thank you for letting me narrate my version of the summary.
Well done.
Bravo.
Thanks.
So just in case you needed a recap, there we go.
For sure. I got into it. I was so excited.
Okay, so what were your overall impressions? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? What pissed you off? What made you cheer? What do you think's gonna happen next?
I was very happy about zombie stormtroopers. I know I haven't been on the show for a while, but from the moment it started, I was like, you know what? If we don't get zombie stormtroopers in here at some point, I'm gonna be really pissed off. And like in the 11th hour, they came out. So I did when that happened. I was like, oh. So I was like, yay. So that made me happy. And also Ezra showing up at the end in a stormtrooper outfit, because I'm like, that's, as you were saying, that's typical Ezra through all of Rebels. It's like, oh, I'm gonna knock this guy out, I'm gonna put his uniform on. I'm like, if he doesn't do that at least once before the show ends, that's gonna be disappointing. And there he was. So but all in all, it was a fun ride. I mean, I'm gonna briefly go back to the beginning of the entire thing. For me, the show, I'm gonna be this guy. I felt it was a little slow at the beginning. I feel too, if you didn't have your Rebels knowledge, which they definitely gave you from the start, for the people who never watched the animated show. But I feel like the last 3 episodes is much like most of the Star Wars shows, is where everything really picked up for me. And I was like, oh, where was that? I mean, it was disappointing, but it wasn't. I mean, for me, Andor is still like the pinnacle of all the Star Wars shows. I think it was just the right amount of everything, and I know I'm probably alone in that. But yeah, I mean, Rosario's great, and I was a little bummed that we didn't get a full Rebels reunion. I mean, where was Zeb? He was, we got it in, Mandalorian. It's like, oh, come on. I know he was off, training, but it's like, oh, he should have been there and been like, oh, there's Ezra. And
I was gonna say, did you think he should have been in the cargo bay?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone else was. I mean, like, he could have taken a break, or maybe like, wait, what are we doing? Oh, you need help? Oh shit, it's Ezra. And but I mean, I'm sure that's going to be it's just more set up for, the Filoni verse and the inevitable Mando movie or whatever they're doing. And but yeah, it was a good ride. It was great to see Hayden again. I'm just kind of giving all my thoughts again, having not been a part of this conversation. But I mean, that whole episode with the flashbacks to the Clone Wars and him fighting alongside, little Gamora. And and that was for me, that was the pinnacle of it. I mean, it was just so well done. And but yeah, I think the way it ended was like, okay. I mean, I know it was set up for a bigger thing, but I wish there had been a little more. But I get what they're doing. Totally applaud it. And it was a lot of fun. And they just need to let Filoni do everything. Him and Favreau got this
lightsaber blaster battle and people being abandoned on a planet wasn't enough for you.
No, it wasn't. No, it was no. I mean, like I mean, again, it was like I was joking in the chat. I mean, like, no, I really liked Rebels season 5. I thought it was, it was a fun time, and it was great to see these characters and what happened to them after. And I look forward to seeing how Thrawn proves to be the big, Thanos of this universe that they're clearly setting up. So, I mean, I'm really curious to see how they're going to pull that off, because I know things are very tumultuous now with Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and franchises, and how are we going to make this work and bring people back, because we've lost fans and we've lost some of our way. And but I think if you got Filoni and Favreau in there, I think they're going to figure it out. I think we just need to kind of space out our, pardon the pun, our events and our films and our series, like we used to back in the pre-multiverse days, and, leave them wanting more, which he did. But I think, they just need to regroup slightly, in my opinion. But I mean, but all in all, I mean, not a miss by any stretch, and was a lot of fun. It was good times, and Tenet was fantastic.
Well, Dave Filoni is George Lucas's Padawan.
Yes,
Mhm,
absolutely,
for
absolutely,
sure.
and
Straight
he's
up.
doing it well. So no, he knows what he's doing.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I think, you know, they're definitely listening to fans and how things are, and I think they're going to just maybe take their time a little bit now, and that's going to just make it so much better. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the show tremendously and look forward to what's next. And rant. Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Tracy?
I think one of the nice things about Ahsoka, and even maybe more so than some of the other series, was that it truly felt like everybody, every single actor, every director, it felt like everybody was all in. Like they were like living this
Mhm,
series, and they weren't just acting; they believed in it. So I don't know why I just got that kind of vibe from it.
mhm,
And then I kind of watched the behind the scenes, and Rosario Dawson actually talked about that she, you know, that she it felt weird to even talk as Rosario in an interview while she was in the Ahsoka garb, because she just felt so dedicated and she did so much research and she just loves this character so much. So I just got that true like committed feeling from every single person in the cast, and I'm really gonna miss Diana Lee. I always
mhm.
screw up her last name.
Inosanto? Totally.
Inosanto, thank you.
Mhm,
I just think for one, to be able to go from being a stunt person to like I mean really a lead character in a
mhm,
show,
mhm,
and she was just so brilliant in it, and I wanted to see more from her. So I'm really sad that, and I know that in season finale person has to die or whatever, but I was really sad that it was her. I just felt like there was a lot more character development left that she could have done, and she was so like she just ate the scenery. She was so there and present.
mhm,
So
mhm.
um anyway, I did get a little bit of a feeling of like the witches of Dathomir were like, "Let's just sacrifice the new girl." Like,
Mhm, mhm,
like we're really important. She's new.
mhm, mhm,
But I also did get the feeling that they, as into Thrawn as they are also kind of using him
Oh, for sure.
for something other than what
mhm,
even Thrawn. Maybe Thrawn. I mean, Thrawn's a brilliant tactician, so maybe he recognizes it and he's just keeping it in the back of his
mhm,
mind. But it
mhm,
definitely felt like they were uh, kind of aiming for a longer term goal,
mhm,
and it kind of there was something about how, oh, they mentioned that Thrawn had awoken them from hibernation,
mhm,
which made me wonder. At first I thought maybe all of those things were coffins with like the dead troopers or something in them, and then, you know, they zombified them, and so it was, you know, maybe they're going to zombify these troopers and have an army. And then I wondered if these were all witches of Dathomir who were in hibernation that
mhm,
they were going to bring forward, and maybe that was going to be his army. Because if you have
mhm,
hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of these people who can call forth all these magical things, especially on their home planet of Dathomir, then that's going to be a formidable force for them to try and fight against.
mhm,
Um, there was lots of, I felt like there was lots of Easter eggs in
mhm,
this
mhm,
Mm.
episode. I loved seeing the Morai Owl at the end, kind of told Ahsoka that she was where she needed to be at this point, and, you know, kind of not to worry. Like, there's going to be a way that she's going to find her way home. But her and Balin, I feel like, are sensing almost the same thing, right? Like, there's some kind of
mhm,
greater purpose, and I don't know if they're being. Thrawn called her a Ronin at one point, and
Mhm.
that's kind of what Balin is as well.
mhm,
And maybe the Mortis gods are kind of pulling them towards this Mount Doom. Um,
mhm.
because they both need to learn something, and they're kind of a yin and yang type of situation. Um, I'm excited to see kind of where it all goes with more. I feel like the Mortis timeline is going to come up. Anyway, I don't want to talk I want to give Dela a chance to talk. But the last thing is kind of how the Eye of Sion and Dathomir lined up perfectly in that shot. I feel like that would be like what Lexi would point out from like a directorial standpoint. And since she's not here, be safe driving through snow, Lexi. That I feel like from a directorial point, like that would definitely be her jam. So I want to definitely make sure I mention that. The Blade of Talzin, which they give to Morgan, which in the animated series that was Mother Talzin's during her fight with Mace Windu, and she's the mom of Darth Maul. So it's kind of everything, all the dots connecting.
And now Ahsoka has that too, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it replaced her lightsaber that got sliced open by it.
Yeah.
And even just those details of like the past, like I don't know if they're dead sisters or Force Ghost sisters or what, but like all the background voices and the sound effects for all the Witches of Dathomir stuff was just like those little details. And the song, they played the song that was Padme's song. When Anakin's Force Ghost came up, Across the Stars, that's what it is. I have a note here, and I was like, and I just kind of went. I mean, because yes, he killed many babies. He killed lots of babies, but he also has kind of been redeemed in this series. He's not so black and white anymore. He's shades of gray, and if nothing else, he's helped Ahsoka get to where she is, either in person or as a Force Ghost. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'll stop.
I love it. I appreciate what you both said, because you got to hear me rant a little in my every little detail of the show moment. So yeah, I ditto all of that. I think I super enjoyed watching the arc for Ahsoka because of what you said, Jason. Like I do agree it does have Rebel season 5 vibes and a lot of solid underpinnings. But what I do feel like is different is that even though Ahsoka is on Rebels, I think, I rewatched a little before we started tonight, and that moment with Ahsoka on the top of the ship and then sliding down. First of all, like they created a new intimate space on a ship that I don't feel like I've seen as much in Star Wars, so I appreciate that. But I also appreciate like Ahsoka is also. I went back and rewatched some folks do the Ahsoka timeline of her life, and I realized I was like, it started slow because she had so much. I realized Dave Filoni doesn't give F's for anybody. He's gonna tempo the show the way he wants to tempo the show. And so for me, this is Ahsoka, not Rebels season 5. To have a friendly offer is because the pace of the show to me is very much about what is the pace and the connection for a woman Jedi with a woman Padawan, and for all of the child warrior or teenage warrior things that Ahsoka survived. Like I was on shouts out and love, I should have said this earlier, I was on Bingeworthy for their Ahsoka binge, and so I'm also doing a little talk to Chuck there, but just this moment of like how slow it was, how stoic she was. There were a lot of people, I feel like there's a lot of online chatter about how stoic Rosario was being, and Bingeworthy kind of, we came to a place of like, that's how she was directed. They're trying to give her this master thing. Anyways, tangent, sorry. So for me, it's about Ahsoka because I'm like, I see the difference. I'm reminded of the journey. And it just makes me realize like, we've never had a character like her to have her own show. And it's great that Hera is also in place. It's great that the chief villain this season is Morgan Elsbeth. And like, can they find a way to bring her back to life? All the people who want Darth Maul to come back to life, like Morgan Elsbeth, let's have the Night Sisters reanimate her. So, but I just offer that I think it's seeing the very end again the other day in the way I, rewatch all the stuff, I was like, yeah, the fact that Sabine stayed, she stayed because Ahsoka changed, and Ahsoka said, I'm here for you. I'll show up for you. Because at the very beginning of the season, when it was all slow and they would look at each other and not say all the things that were happening, which feels very sister auntie girl fight to me. Like, I'm mad at you. I'm not going to say it until you say it. So there was all that I enjoyed watching. And then, where was I going? But just now understanding their backstory, I'm like, I guess Filoni wants us to watch all the way through the first season and then double back like a Star Wars fan will. And now that I know all the backstory, it's even richer in the new rewatch, So I'm like, okay, maybe there's that. But I do want to say that this last thing, thank you for letting me do my ramble rant, is that Sabine says to Huyang when he's being all mean to her, did she ask for me specifically? Or she just needs me to get through this part of the plan? And because of all the things we now understand Sabine has been through, woman warrior to woman warrior, this is what it looks like to work through your stuff and finally come to a place. And Ahsoka became Ahsoka the White so she could deal with all the burden of Anakin, so that she could then accept that she should train Sabine, even though Sabine's helmet in the intro helmet, which I've said before, in the intro helmet sequence that happens, Sabine's helmet's the last one and it's red. So part of me wondered, is this her? Now we're on this planet and the light side, which is embodied by Ahsoka, is there. So part of me is like, I'm just excited that we got a show where women were part of the universe of action. And I'm excited that it had its own tempo in the Star Wars verse, because because Obi-Wan got hella tempo slow down for me as a kid in the originals, right? And so I just keep trying to go back to that. So I appreciate you letting me share that. Yes.
Yeah,
like that.
To kind of add to what you're saying, I think a lot of times where Ahsoka has come from a place of fear, right? Like she's fled. She's come back, but then she flees again. And having had Anakin as her master and seeing him turn to Darth Vader, which the impetus of that was, his mother being killed, and we have Sabine, whose entire family has been wiped out in the Night of 1,000 Tears. And is this going to be the impetus for Sabine to go to the dark side, which was kind of where my mind went when I saw her helmet flash red. Like, was there a fear there that she was going to be training another Anakin Skywalker? And what she kind of realizes after her experience with Anakin is that all of these decisions that she has made have not always been understood. She left the Jedi Order, right? Like, that's who would do that? Who would leave the Jedi Order? And so she kind of realizes that Sabine has made these decisions, and who is she to judge? And instead of kind of holding them against her, she's going to do what Anakin did for her and accept her kind of for who she is, and just help continue to try and guide her. And if she's a successful enough master, then Sabine will become a formidable Jedi and not turn to the dark side. Which somebody asked, I think it was Paul, asked, how can Sabine wield the Force at will? And Danny said it gets unlocked usually by a strong emotion. And that was the other thing, was that she only seemed to be able to really use the Force when she was trying to protect Ezra. Right. So something in her was clicking.
Plus they rode the growler, whatever it's called, and like she was able to feel the way he wielded the Force because he was trying to open the gate. Like, part of me was like, yeah. So exciting also to watch it finally pay off. And
I agree about the women led, though. Like, to have so many women in the lead here was, because I'm a woman, like, it didn't seem weird to me, but at the same time I recognized that it was kind of a novelty, kind of the same way that Rogue One was kind of a novelty, and that we had a female lead, experiencing Rebels from a female perspective instead of a male perspective, and it's one of my top Star Wars movies. I loved it.
Agreed.
Anyway.
No, and I too, I feel what you said is spot on. Yeah, I didn't look at it as, female lead, male lead. I just looked at it as I think it was unfair of me to single out Ahsoka when I'm like, oh, that part was slow. It's like, no, I feel all of the Disney Plus Star Wars shows have a pacing issue.
For sure.
That's just something that goes with the territory. And yeah, but no, I mean, not at all a huge weak point, but no, you are absolutely right. It was, listening to you say that, I'm like, yeah, that's true. I mean, we don't get that normally. But I don't look at it through that lens either, because having a daughter myself, I'm just like, no, I'm looking at it as Star Wars, and yay, it's somebody new and different, and oh, but it is a woman in power now, and that's fantastic. We don't normally get that, not to this level. And and I love Rosario Dawson to boot. I mean, like, the gravitas that she brings to that part is only matched by what Ashley did with the voice. So it's just no, I mean, again, everything you said, I kind of go back on my Rebels season 5 comment slightly. I mean, it's more to just like knowing Rebels so well. I'm just like, I'm watching those first few episodes and I'm like, I know this already. Let's move on. I'm like, I want to get to the Ahsoka stuff. I mean, but again, I understand what he was doing, what he had to do, but the way the show ended, I feel, for all the things that I think maybe it didn't hit for me, the one thing it did hit is like what she says at the end, where she's like, no, we're all where we need to be right now, and it's time to move on. And I'm like, oh, there it is. I'm like, he hit everything he had to hit for the Rebels fans, the Ahsoka fans, the Star Wars fans. It's like, yep, we're here, let's go, and you're gonna love what happens next. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they bring all of this together. It's going to be fascinating if they can pull that off. And if Anakin and if Snoke ends up being a clone of Anakin, I mean, there's just all these like ridiculous things of like how they still have to ultimately tie it to Force Awakens, and that's going to be a blessing and a curse. I love Force Awakens, but mainly for the nostalgia. Like, I mean, it's just a new hope, and that's why it worked for me. But also why I think it worked for someone like my daughter, who saw it when she was very young, like, wow, this is my Star Wars movie. Is this how you felt when you watched episode 4? And it's like, yeah, but it's because it's episode 4 again. But I mean, but it's going to be really cool if Filoni can pull it off. And I think he's the only one that can. So, but I seriously hope, like, when it's all said and done, it's not like, okay, and now Ahsoka's dead, Grogu's dead, Mando's dead, like, because where were all they in Rise of Skywalker? Well, there were a lot of ships there at the end, so I mean, but that's
in a
like
different galaxy.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a conversation I was having with a friend. It's like, well, where were all they during all these fights? And I'm like, well, they're going to explain it. They have to. And I'm sure there will be a good reason, I hope. I don't think Filoni's going to give you some pissy little like, oh, well, they just didn't want to do it. Oh, she was on Dagobah or eating cheese somewhere. But
question for both of you. How do you think that Ahsoka and Sabine are going to get home? Like, what's your just wildest off the cuff theory for how they're going to get back to their proper galaxy?
I think I have an answer, but I want to wait till Jason's ready.
Oh no, go for it. You first.
I think because we just, like you pointed out, we just saw Morai the owl. I think, and it's Mortis gods all over. I think it's World Between Worlds somehow. There's got to be a mural where the balls can move, or you can force move the circle, like we got in Rebels season 4, whenever that was shown to us. Yeah. So for me, I was always like, oh, they're about to get back. It's fine, because Ahsoka's already been in the World Between Worlds, and maybe she just falls off the cliff into the ocean or something, like
that was my thought as well, because Ezra's also been there. So it's like,
he pulled her out.
But
actually.
But I feel like there's still like him having already been there and now being back, there's still some kind of a connection there. And I think it's going to be a very easy thing ultimately to explain away when they're ready to bring them all back together, because I can't imagine that they're going to have another season or a movie going like, oh, well, now we got to go on the hunt for Ahsoka. I'm like, no, we've already kind of done that now. So, I mean, I think they'll just, open a portal, open a door. And it's like, okay, we're all back here. Now let's go get Thrawn. But or maybe the Purgles will show back up. I mean, they just got the hell out of Dodge,
That's mine. I think that I think that Ezra's gonna call the Purgles and ride them and take them back.
Yeah.
But I hadn't thought about the World Between Worlds. So you guys have given me something to chew on.
Oh, yeah,
Can I say? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the Purgles got the hell out of there when everything was blowing up. So they're like,
sure.
"Fuck you guys, we'll come back later."
Wait, when the Chimera went off, were all the bombs all disabled?
No, not all of them.
Well, we don't know, right?
Yeah, because it just kind of magically disappeared. Anyway.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so here's a little bit of or Sabine could find a blank wall and redraw and create the art of the three, the Mortis gods for the portal. And then Ezra and Ahsoka could carve it out into the wall. I'm just saying.
The one that the brother punched out, that one?
Yeah. There's the one. Yeah, that's the one on Lothal. It's not on Lothal. It's the mural that Sabine was brought to look at and consult with what's his name from Thrawn's. Yeah, this is where I can't remember. Anyways, so I'm excited to see the nerdy way they get back. I agree. The Purgles would be awesome.
Yeah.
Ezra didn't have a ship, right? So that's how come he couldn't go home before.
Okay, so another. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, I just had another question for you both. Okay, because I know we only have like 10 minutes left. So, are we transitioning to Geek Piece tonight, Rodney?
We'll find
no
out.
answer. Okay. Anyways,
Rodney fell asleep.
Yes. No, he said yes.
Anyway, my next question is: do you think that they should recast Baylan Skoll?
No.
Why? Do you think the character should just leave it as it is with him
know what? Honestly,
the hand of the father?
Honestly, yes. I feel like for two reasons. One, from a character standpoint and an actor standpoint, what a way to end. I mean, like Ray Stevenson's like last shot as an actor is like him looking badass on the hand of this giant I mean, like, I don't know if that's the last thing I were to, if that were the last like image that I were to be remembered for, hey, well done, Jason. I mean, but it's just,
but what if they recast him with a different actor? So they keep the character, but it's not Ray Stevenson.
That's
which
hard.
They've had to do, right? For like, what is it? Rome, like different series.
I mean, I guess if that character story has to continue for the greater narrative, which I truly believe that it does, then yeah, I'd rather you recast with a new actor rather than you pull in a bad CG double and AI thing. I mean, I think that's just still not, it's just clearly in what's going on right now, not the way to go, too disrespectful. But I don't know if they could just end that arc though and just leave it at that. For me, that would be ideal. But like I said, I don't think that that's possible. I think that that is going to be a huge point moving forward. And yeah, they're going to have to just try to find somebody. But man, I don't know. I love Ray Stevenson. I mean, like, I loved him. And like, I watched RRR so much when it came on Netflix, and like him as the bad dude with those guys. I mean, that movie, that character, just, it blew me away. And other things too. I mean, he's vastly underused in Thor and things like that. But I mean, he's been around forever. I mean, I met him at a con once, and the nicest guy. Like, and I know that's really easy to say from someone just going up and getting an autograph. It's like, oh yeah, he was so great. No, genuinely, like, you could tell, the sweetest guy on the planet. And such a loss, which is why I would just hate to see that character continued without him, because it's his. But No, long way about to answer your question. Ultimately, no, I would not like to see him recast, but logically speaking, yes, he will be recast, and I pity anyone who has to fill those shoes. I don't know who they're going to get. So,
What about you, Dela?
Balin's like their Dumbledore, right?
Yeah.
Like as soon as you said that, I was like, nobody wanted to be Dumbledore.
That's very true. And now all I really, I mean, like personally, I liked Harris better than but now that he just passed too, I'm like,
respect.
I mean, they just played that character so differently. I mean, like I loved what Harris did with it, but then I love what Michael did with it too, so but it's just and I'm sure I'll feel the same way when they recast him. So time will tell.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think now that I've seen the finale, I'm like, yeah, it looks like Filoni set it up. The artist producer in me wonders they had to have thought about what would have happened after Carrie Fisher. I would hope people, especially I don't know. I'm like, didn't they think about that in contracting? But maybe not.
He's pretty young, so, and seemingly in just fine health.
For sure.
Yeah, what did he pass away from again? I forget. Like it was very.
He had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, it was very unexpected. It's like you said, he was fine, and then he was like in his room, and then he was gone, and it's like what? And
so I of course honoring him, and then honoring just the difficult artistic decisions that have to happen because this person who has embodied this role so definitively has passed away. So yeah, I think. I mean, the other option is to do something where his journey ends and Shin Hati takes over and has some kind of experience where, but I think she's on a journey back to the Jedi. I think she's on her journey back to the light side.
You think she's going to meet up with Ahsoka and Sabine at some point?
I think so. And I'll just, that actually brings me to another thing I wanted to say about Ahsoka is, early in the season, we only got to see her with like Huyang or like maybe Sabine or maybe Hera. But in this episode, we actually got to see the Ahsoka that we get in Clone Wars, where she's commanding a team and she's strategizing about battle and she's telling Ezra the door. Like she's actually literally minute by minute changing what's happening with her squad to help us achieve the goal.
Sabine, blasters.
Exactly. Yeah, don't stop with the lightsaber blasters. Like you guys go, both of us, all of us, the door, So I do think something about this episode that I thought was also exciting is like I feel like we also got to see Ahsoka heal through all her stuff, and finally, she was a commander without a squad or without a squadron. Or a battalion or whatever size we want to choose.
He didn't have her pod squadron.
She didn't, and she didn't have Rex.
We didn't get like we didn't get like a current Captain Rex. We just saw flashback Captain Rex.
Right.
Maybe next season.
But and maybe that's where Zeb is. You know what I mean? Like there's just so much. I see why they're teasing us with Zeb. I also am curious what's gonna happen.
He's on Tatooine.
for sure. And just the Mandoverse and like the way that, just how they're all existing in timeline. So yeah, anyways, so I'm just excited that we finally, just to share, I was excited. Ahsoka finally had troops to command, and we got to see her. Also, that part where they're battling the zombie troopers or the night troopers, and they head into that room with the stairs, and she's like, back up, draw them out. Like just all the little things that are like simple parts that she would say when she was commanding folks as a younger being.
This Comic-Con, I want to see zombie troopers versus Night of the Living Trekkies.
Oh, get that, yo! Oh my gosh!
You're gonna see zombie troopers at Comic-Con, right? I mean,
for sure.
There'll be a battalion.
The one with like the face, like the
the one was going
out.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll all be outside in the gas lamp eating at the spaghetti factory. So
sure.
I just noticed the time. Is there any final thoughts before I go to squad reports? Questions from the galaxy.
Global warming is terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. I just threw a final thought out there. Okay, no, continue.
42.
I would offer that I appreciated Grand Admiral Thrawn warning Morgan Elsbeth that he too was undermined by the bravery of one single Jedi, and just all of that Admiral Thrawn stuff we missed. But I'm okay. I mean, I feel like Thrawn got a lot of love this season, just in general from folks. So I'm like, he's about to be our dude in season 2, right? So
he's gonna be I think our Darth Vader kind of in moving forward, like seasons or movies, the big bad. So it was a good setup, and yeah, it's gonna be great. It's exciting.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, let's see if there's any comments. Having to be Andy, I didn't get to be in the chat as much today. So let's see. We got
to our friends in the chat. Thank you.
Hello, chat.
When the Jedi Order turned on Ahsoka, so I get it when she said no to coming back. I could see that impacting her decisions and views for other Force users going forward. Regarding female-led, Leia was the first and only.
Word.
So it's great seeing so many female leads now, powerful, mindful female characters. It gives young people so many more great role models. Do you think Star Wars Disney will make another movie tying some of these storylines together? Which I believe, Rodney said later that Filoni is going to have his own movie, and they said it will be a finale of sorts for the Mando Ahsoka storylines.
Can I say that connected to the women leaders? I forgot to shout out Mon Mothma. Like, she's in all of the things, and she got to also be a part of this series and have a critical scene that also gave everybody.
And kudos to Genevieve for for taking on that mantle and just making it her own while still giving an ode to the original, and she's just so spot on.
Yep.
Danny agrees. Waiting for the next Star Wheel migration. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Can we give a shout out to the composer Kevin Kleiner? Is that his name?
Yes. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to mention was the skeleton dance. Were you thinking of that as well? Yeah, the theme that there's a song about where a guy summons up the dead to dance for him, and that was hinted at in that when the zombies were rising for the first time.
For sure.
Yes.
Shouts out to the Kiner brothers. Call. Yes. And when I heard those notes, I thought about Beetlejuice. And how and how when the bodies were on the table, the violin, yes, and it comes from a classic, I think, opera or something. Oh, and Rodney reminds us that the Kiner brothers are half Filipino. Get it?
Yeah.
What's up, Filipinos?
And it's Filipino Heritage Month.
Hey, yes, it is. In fact, Filipino American Heritage Month. And their dad does the music for Bad Batch, of course.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, get it, families.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all the things.
Yes, we've got yay for zombie troopers, all kinds of things. Okay. All right. So yes.
Are we welcoming Chuck?
Well, maybe. Well, I have to do the outro or whatever. No, now it's time for crosstalk. It's time for crosstalk, guys.
Hey, crosstalk.
It's hard being Andy, you guys.
You're doing so good, though. Yay.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you all doing?
Good.
Hi, friends.
Hello.
All it says under topic or question is Star Tours ?
Star Tours.
What's going on with
three
Star Tours?
question marks.
What's going on with that? What's going on with
I don't know. Why'd you put that there, Rodney?
They're adding
that's probably from the old. That's probably an old document. No, I was gonna say, you guys heard about the Star Wars Minecraft?
Star Wars Minecraft? Star Wars is in Minecraft?
They're gonna have a Star Wars DLC for Minecraft.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna be better than Star Wars Legos.
True.
That is 100% true.
But it'd be interesting to play Minecraft with, like Star Wars. Like, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, they're gonna put it in Roblox next.
Oh God, Roblox.
I mean, where all the kids are. I mean, they have to go where the kids are, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
So they're in college, they're on Minecraft.
Yeah.
And if they're younger than college, they're in Roblox.
That's all my niece ever wants for her birthday, for Hanukkah. Everything is Robux, Roblox,
Robux. Yeah.
something like that.
Mm, That makes sense. That makes sense. So I guess they have to put
Boring.
stuff there. You know, the kids aren't watching the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, the little kiddie show. The no
They're not?
Little Jedi.
Jedi Tales?
Jedi to the little young kids. Yeah, they're not.
No,
watching.
Jedi Tales?
They're not?
They're not?
Is it doing really bad?
It's not doing well.
Huh.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Uh-oh.
we got to see those kids get killed by Anakin.
Awkward.
Series finale. It's like how the dinosaurs died at the end of Dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's
It's like, oh, they're waiting for the asteroid. Oh, watch
at the end. We're gonna have to see those.
It's like, wow, that got dark real quick.
These are kids during
Fun
that
fact:
time.
I did some of the Foley for that show. My stepdad was the Foley artist for that show. So
No
some
shit.
of the
Oh,
sound effects
wow.
are me, little
That's-
tiny me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Really?
You're the baby. Gotta love-
Several shows that you probably all grew up with, but yeah,
That's
dinosaurs
crazy.
definitely.
These are for all you old people out there. Back when they had
That'd be
the
me.
graphics.
No, a lot of people right now are going, dinosaurs? What's
Not
that?
the mama, not the mama.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. That
I
Disney
just saw
film from
that ending.
1999.
I used to love that show.
Everybody loved that show. That show was good. It's so funny. I just saw the ending, and the ending is like, wow,
That ending is dark.
dark.
Like, dark. They're just all huddled in their coats, and they're like, well, the end is near, end of series. It's like, what the hell?
At that point, though, the ratings had dropped so
That's
far.
true.
They didn't care.
They didn't care. They're like, I kill 'em.
Nobody's watching it anymore. We're just going to do whatever we want to do.
Everybody's on The Simpsons by then.
Right? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was over with.
That's that.
I love that it's become a cult classic, though. It makes
Fun
me
fact, that's
happy.
how The Simpsons is gonna end. No, I'm kidding.
Right?
They're all gonna
Right.
be around the
This
TV.
is never going to end.
It's going to end with a nuclear explosion.
No, it is
And
never
3
going to
years
end.
later from that, we're going to have
There
a
you go.
nuclear
Homer's gonna
explosion.
finally not
Simpson
guess
zombies.
through everything.
Yep.
The
Yep.
No, you're right.
Simpsons came out when I was in the 6th grade. I now have a daughter that's older than 6th grade. Like, it's never going to end.
I remember watching that first episode, and I turned to my friend and I was like, "This is never gonna last."
Oh, I love
Boy,
it.
was I wrong.
It was shorts on the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
I
It was.
remember that. And I remember that was the only reason I watched Tracy Ullman
Yeah.
in between it. Yeah, vaguely. And
Yep.
a quick anecdote, I went to a Catholic school when I was young, and like we had to wear uniforms, but they gave us a dress down day. And I wore a Bart Simpson shirt that said, "Eat my shorts."
Right.
Put me out of class.
Yeah.
I remember watching the first episode as a family, and it was the only episode I got to watch until I was well into high school because my dad said, "Nope, Bart Simpson disrespects his dad. You're not allowed to watch it."
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
funny to see like what was considered disrespectful then and how it's like so tame now. It's like, well, have you watched season
Yep.
35? Man, Bart is a bitch. So it's like,
Yeah.
The
And
Bart
Homer's
man
dumb.
dance. The Bart man dance that anybody had a
oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
they
I
put
was
the
the
CD
so
without.
cool.
Bart man. Yeah, the Bart man was dope, man.
With my
Yep.
jams, have my
Mhm.
jams on and my skids. You don't
They still play that song at Universal Studios if you walk through Simpsons Land. You're
The
just
Bart
waiting.
Do
on-
that.
They do that. They go like, "Do the Bart Man." I'm like,
Do
"Oh
the
yeah, I'm
Bart
gonna go get some
Man."
Cletus chicken."
For the record, I'm only 25 years old, and I have no actual memory of this. This is all just me experiencing pop culture.
This may be before you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this may be it.
Tracy
No,
is a
I'm
fetus.
just throwing that out into the universe that I
You know.
Yeah.
I think what we're
definitely
talking
didn't
about-
live through all of this, you guys.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
That's it, like-
there are shows older than us that none of us would probably
For
remember,
sure.
like
for
H and R, Puffin stuff.
oh
Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
made that a show.
yeah.
R
I don't even know
Puffin
what that is.
stuff.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah, Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
Not the Will Ferrell movie. The
I
No,
was-
not that
Oh,
one.
yeah. Oh, I was little.
Dude,
I, was
I
little for
love
that
Land of the
little-
Lost.
Yeah.
Land of the Lost, the Slee Stacks scared the shit out of me as a kid. The Slee Stacks, and they were always like walk really slow, but just the sound of them, like, and the big
Yep.
eyes, like, oh,
Their
man.
hands out like
Yeah,
this.
little
Yep.
scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yep.
I remember the Electric Company.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
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 The pinball going through with the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I
On
remember
Sesame
that.
Street.
Yeah. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6,
7,
7,
8, 9.
That's how I
10,
learned how to
11,
count.
12.
Boy, I'm old.
Yeah.
For
Or,
sure.
or Pinwheel. I'm talking about all
Yeah.
the things Tracy doesn't know anything about.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no idea, guys.
She's Googling it right now on her phones that didn't exist back when.
Love it.
Sure. So.
I definitely didn't stay homesick watching The Price is Right and I Love Lucy.
Oh, everybody.
Oh.
But if you got a
That-
grandmother
that-
of a
that
certain
defies
age in
age.
Black communities, you grew up
Mhm.
on The Young and the Restless and The Price is Right. Like
For
that's,
sure.
that's what
That
you
is
did
definitely-
when
I
you
always
stayed home with
changed
your
the channel.
grandmother.
Mhm.
It
No.
was Price is Right and One Life to Live for me. So
Okay.
When the
Okay.
stories came on, I had to change the channel.
Or as we call them, the stories.
The
Yeah, yeah.
I just said the stories.
this is my story. Well, I had to go back to school. No, record my stories.
Right.
All I know is that for like a year of my life, I couldn't watch any of my shows because it was the O.J. Simpson trial, and I was so
Oh.
mad that the O.J. Simpson trial was on instead of my after-school shows.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being a
I was
problem.
too young to care about the O.J. Simpson trial.
See, my mom converted to Santa Barbara. There's a
Yes,
Story called
that's
Santa
where
Barbara.
Robin Wright. That's where Robin Wright got her start before she became Robin Wright Penn.
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
and
Princess Buttercup.
it was Santa Barbara, then Oprah.
It was like Young and the
forgot
Restless,
about
Days
Santa
of Our
Barbara.
Lives,
Right.
Santa Barbara, and then Oprah. Yeah.
But General Hospital. Yeah, General
Yeah.
Hospital.
Oh, General Hospital. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Guiding Light.
Guiding Light. Oh
All my
gosh.
children.
Yeah.
I think General Hospital is the only
sometimes.
one that's still on.
For sure.
Oh, it's still on?
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
wow. I didn't even know soap opera still came on like daytime.
Most of them
Oh.
have died, but General Hospital is still on.
General Hospital.
Isn't Young and the Restless still on too?
I
Young
think
Restless.
they're all still on, but you can only like watch them
No.
on streaming now.
Young and the Restless, one of the, I don't know if it's Young and the Restless, but one of them is only online.
Okay.
But
Right.
General Hospital is the only one that's still on like network.
Oh, like
Okay.
on network.
Young and the Restless started off on radio. It was on radio and then went to
No.
television. So it's like 80 something years old. Like
For
before
sure.
television, it was out there.
I just found out Young and the Restless. I look at the number of episodes. They got 12,500.
Wow.
Is that the television show? Does that include the radio as well?
I don't know. It just says number of
Okay.
episodes 12,500.
Oh, but that's Young and the Restless though, not.
Young and the Restless. Mhm.
Oh, they started on radio.
Yeah, Young and the Restless started on
Oh.
radio and then went to television for like housewives. That's why it's called the soap operas, because they were at home washing and they
Mhm.
watched television. That's why it's called the soap operas.
Wow.
I auditioned for
Wow.
one of the soap operas in college.
Nice.
Did not get on.
Nice.
Which one?
Thank God.
Your acting
Thank
wasn't
Odin.
bad enough. Your acting wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
Completely.
Not bad enough to be on
Yeah,
here.
yeah, you were too.
One,
You
I
deserve better.
did see one of the girls who got a call back, and she was way over the top.
Okay, that's probably what it is then. You probably got murdered 4 times and came back as a ghost.
Right.
Well,
Or it's a twin sister.
Yeah.
Or-
Right. Okay,
One of the things
Marlena.
One of the things they wanted you to do was memorize a script in like 3 minutes and say
Mhm.
back all that you could remember. And she
Mhm.
was able to do that. Even though she was over the top, she was able to recite back like the whole thing. Like, I don't know if she had like a
Well, yeah,
photographic
because they
memory
got to
or
film
what.
like 12 episodes in a day. It's
And
like,
you do like
yeah.
one take. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a daily show. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
for
12,500 episodes. This is a lot of episodes.
You could have been
Right.
Buffy. You could have been Buffy, Tracy, if you had been like, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and then like,
I could have been married to Freddie Prinze Jr. this whole time.
the whole time.
Wow.
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 But you
King
know why you
Paris.
weren't? Because you acted too good.
just like look at her with
Overdid.
all her
Mhm.
her acting skills.
Mhm.
She's never gonna make it right here.
Well,
All
don't
this
worry,
talent,
don't worry,
we're
don't
never
Tracy.
gonna
You still have your chance.
Too
to go
much
through.
talent. Get out of it.
Outta
Freddie Prinze
here.
Jr. is going to be in the next Star Wars movie. Watch.
There it is.
Yeah, he
But he
is.
said he's never doing Star Wars again.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but he needs
saying.
money. You know, they've been striking for a long time.
mhm.
He'll
You
do
know, he's
Star
been
Wars and she'll do
doing-
Buffy. You watch. Yeah, they're all gonna go back to the well.
They are. They are going to go drink it all up.
Get all
sure.
up.
Well, speaking of Buffy, what are you guys talking about on your show?
Oh, we're talking about a lot of Pokemon news.
Okay.
ton of Pokemon news. Yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon news. Also, we're
Did
gonna
you
talk
find all the news stories?
this all the news. No, Carl found them all, so it makes sense for Defunct to put in a lot of Pokemon. That's like his favorite franchise in the whole entire world. So there's a lot of Pokemon. Did y'all know you could buy a mech suit that transforms for $3 million?
Oh, is that all?
Is it that? Wait, is it that little toy thing?
No, I'm talking about a real live Gundam.
Oh,
You can
Like
buy
a life-size one.
I don't know. I'm gonna look at the article right before we start. And
Are you
I'm
talking
gonna,
about the one that's like 4 stories tall?
that's you can buy one you can actually control. It may not be 4 stories, maybe like 2 stories, and that it transforms.
If it's not
Wow.
the 4-story tall one, I just don't.
I know it's not a Gundam. If it's not 4 stories tall. I know. And it doesn't have a blast cannon on it,
Mm.
and that makes it even worse.
Mhm.
somebody's got some very
Fly
good
through space.
houses.
You lost Tracy at 2 stories.
Right.
That's no blast
Tracy's
cannon.
got a
Not
very big
interested.
house
Well,
now.
yeah,
I'm just imagining this huge mansion with her with all these.
I'm gonna put it in the back with all of
4-story
her
Gundam.
Right, with
She's
all these.
gonna put it all with her chickens.
No, the Gundam's in a silo and it comes
Uh-huh.
and she needs to call to fight some kaiju
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
Well,
other
if it was
Gundam.
an iron giant, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Superman.
Do you all watch Gundam?
I've
No.
watched some. not-
Gundam,
yeah.
Gundam's the first series I've ever watched where main characters get killed off left and right.
Mm.
Hmm.
Like sometimes they get killed off for no apparent reason. So you're just watching them. You're watching like, okay. He won the battle, gets to fly back to the base, runs out of fuel, dies in space.
Wow.
And you're like, wow, they made that happen. Or be it an asteroid hits him and kills him.
Oh man.
Like main character, you follow this person the whole entire season. You're on episode 22.
And he died because he ran out
died
of gas.
That's why I love other like country storytelling because they're not rooted in this Western storytelling
Yeah.
where we gotta deal with people for seasons and seasons. It's just like, oh, they're great. We love them. They're dead the next episode. Like, wait,
Yeah.
that wasn't supposed to
Or
happen.
Or the main character kills the love interest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild too, by
Well,
accident.
that's just because we learned our lesson when we killed off Optimus Prime, because they're like, no, we're just moving on to the next generation of toys. And then boys like me
Well,
had asthma attacks in the theater when my
I hate
favorite
that
truck
Star
died.
Wars movie.
I'm like, what?
Or not,
I
Star
still
Wars,
haven't gotten over that one. So please, like, I don't want to spend too much time reliving that moment.
No, that's a terrible
still
dark
haunts me.
childhood memory for me.
Yeah,
Yes.
it still haunts me. I'm not
Yeah,
over
that
it.
haunts me more than real family member deaths.
Yeah, right.
So, very sad.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
Tra-
man.
Tracy froze on us, you guys.
Oh, she did. She always freezes
Like-
in the best positions. Oh, there. Okay, now
like
she's back,
Optimus
right.
Prime's dead. I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
It's-
I'm leaving the room.
It's
Zoom
been
chat
it's
over.
been off and on. Y'all are frozen for me, so
Maybe it's
sure.
us and not you.
Yeah.
am I still frozen right now?
No, you're good.
Hear you fine.
Oh, okay.
You're back. You're back.
Well, Rodney's saying that we should wrap up, so I'm gonna put back my Andy hat back on and say thank you for joining us. We're on the Geekish Network. Am I still freezing?
Nope, you're
You're
fine
good.
now.
You're good. You're good.
Start
Okay.
again. Start again.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining us. We're here on the Geekish Network. And please follow Geekish Network on YouTube and Facebook and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining us here on Monday nights. Check the schedules for all of the great shows on here throughout the week. Stay tuned for Geek Beast. Thanks on the flight deck to Rodney. And we are the Pod Squadron. Please check out our content on podsquadron.com. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For podcast subscriptions, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. I am Tracy, aka Hot Nerd Girl, filling in for Andy the Chinese Pirate. Whoever I'm pointing at
And
right now.
I am Dayla at Pics by Dayla on Instagram. What's it?
Jason, beyondforever.net, Beyond Forever Studio. Yeah, Tracy's pointing directly straight ahead. It could be any one of us.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to see
Everyone,
who would go
shameless
first.
plug. Well, yes, Beyond Forever Studios. Just look it up. It's the only thing you'll see.
And Lexi's at the Feral Geek. All wings return to base, course laid in, and prepare to make the jump to light speed on my mark. The truths we cling to depend on our own point of view. Only the Sith deal in absolutes. Bye!
Peace.
Time